So last week, Bishop T.D. Jakes put this caption out on Instagram, and one of the things that really stood out to me is he said, there will be bankruptcies and billionaires born out of the same experience. And I've been repeating that a lot throughout these weeks because it really just touched me in a very specific way, and I really believe that there will be bankruptcies and billionaires born out of the same exact experience. And I'm trying to stand on the billionaire side. Like, I don't know about you, but I would like to be standing on the billionaire side as a small business owner, as a brand owner. Hey y'all, and welcome back to Making the Brand. I noticed that my video on why you shouldn't purchase that vendors list is getting a lot of attention, and then I also went through the comments and didn't realize, or at least I should have realized, that you guys want more of this. So I'm going to continue sharing with you my personal journey of building my brand in hopes that I will help you along the way with yours. Today's introduction is based off of a comment that I just recently received on that video where someone said, if I don't buy a vendors list, where am I supposed to find vendors? Okay, you look for them yourself. Now, I'm all about having side hustles. I'm a firm believer that you should have multiple streams of income. However, making the brand is not just another source of income. Think about your favorite Instagram celebrity or your favorite A-list celebrity or B-list celebrity or whoever, people that you see on TV. You've been following them for a while, they had a good bid, and then they decide to launch this product. And let's say that this product is lip gloss, or let's say that this product is hair or wigs. They launch this business and all of their fans are super excited about it. Yay, we're so happy. Yes, can't wait to support you, put more money in your pocket. We trust that you know good stuff because you look great on TV all the time, and it dies down. There is no more promotion, there's no new lip color, there's no recent eyelashes or anything like that. It was an opportunity for them to make a lot of money in a short period of time. I'm all for side hustles. However, this is not that. This is not what this is for. This is for the person who wants to create a ABH or a Huda Beauty, who wants to launch a Louis Vuitton, who wants to be the mind behind a Chanel, the Dior kind of mind. Making the Brand, the series, is not about having a side hustle. It is about creating an empire. And I don't have an empire yet, but I believe that through trial and error and through extreme amount of passion and through the willingness to learn and educate along the way, I'm gonna create that for myself. So, bringing it back to education, I feel like it's important to share my journey with you guys as I create my own household name so that we can answer these questions together, so that you can learn from my mistakes or even my successes and just offer my personal advice. And my personal advice still is, don't buy that vendors list. Moving along. So I've been using the past few weeks to really focus in on my areas of improvement with my brand. Now, I know in one of the videos that I had posted for Making the Brand, I was really excited about the boxes that I had made. I was really excited about how I was, like, you know, pushing forward with my brand image, but there's always going to be room for error. And baby, when you compare the then and the now, there have been a lot of errors. And so for the next 3 weeks, I challenge you to focus on 3 very important areas that introduce your brand. So image is everything. And the moment that really clicked for me was when I did my very first pop-up shop. I did my first pop-up shop and I got to really set it up as if I was in a store. And it was the most amazing experience ever. I made so much money. People were so drawn to my table. And so I came back home and I was, damn, like, how do I create that experience online? And so I'm looking at the things that I have, and I'm looking at my packaging, I'm looking at my website, and I'm looking at my Instagram. These are your 3 things. And it really stood out to me that I'm not doing the best job at creating an experience online for people who might be interested in my brand or in my product. I'm going to talk a lot about makeup, but this is not specific to just makeup. If you want to start a nail polish line, if you want to be Essie, let's say that. Not if you want to just sell nail polish. If you want to be the Essie or the OPI in the nail industry, or if you want to sell candles, because I had someone mention that they're looking to build candles. Whatever you want to do, I think that this information is helpful to you. It is not just cosmetics based. So the idea is to create an experience that almost feels tangible, or that is so close to being tangible that people have to buy the products. And where was I failing in all of it? So for the next 3 weeks, I want to challenge you to focus on these 3 areas. So a few tips about websites. If you are creating a website that is e-commerce based, if you're creating a website that is even a service-based website, like if you're an esthetician and you want to open up a spa, you have to build your website from the mobile view. This is very important, and I realize that a lot of people don't actually think about that or recognize that, because I do websites myself, and a lot of the website makeovers that I've been giving to clients, the websites look fine on the computer screen, but when you go on mobile, it's not at all easy to navigate. There's too much going on. There's a whole bunch of different fonts. There's so many different notes. A lot of people shop off of Instagram now. People shop off of social media. People shop off of websites that their friends are sending them. Most of the shopping that people do happens on their phone, and sometimes like at work on a computer, but in essence, this is it. Try to stick to 2 fonts, and try to have those main 2 fonts be as close as possible to whatever fonts you're using on the graphics that are being created for your website and on the images. The second thing that I had to really learn is that less is more, and I know that sometimes I think that I'm aware of that, but less really is more. Try not to do too much. So I've been graphic designing since I was 12, and so I loved the idea of blending 500 different elements into this one thing and creating this dynamic imagery. That's not good for the consumer. And then with building websites, and this is going to be something that I suggest all the time, it's so important to look at your competitors, and not the people who you are currently in competition with, not the brands that are at your level or at the beginning stages or even at the intermediate stages of where you want to be. Look at the big websites. So one of the websites that I frequent is ColourPop and Milk. Milk's website reminds me of when I used to shop on American Apparel. It's a little busy, but it's super clean, which is very weird. And then ColourPop is very playful, and it just makes you want to be a part of the story that they're telling with their brand. So those are 2 companies that I always look at whenever I'm looking at my websites. Now you'll notice that my website doesn't at all resemble these, but when I do my email marketing, it resembles things that I've seen, or structures that I've seen, and structures that I've been inspired by from these 2 brands. So the website and your email campaigns go hand in hand. And so here's a quick look at how I built out an email campaign that was inspired by a very old email from, I think it was ColourPop. So because this is something that people are going to be seeing consecutively, it's important that I keep a theme, and that, again, the fonts are identical and the fonts are consistent. Fonts are so important. Any resource that I mention in this video, I'm going to also list in the description box below. So thefont.com is where I go to for all of my fonts. Whenever you're selecting fonts on there, what you should do is make sure that it says 100% free, especially if you're using fonts for a logo that you don't want to purchase. So All of these on dafont.com are free to download. However, if you want to use a font for commercial uses, then make sure that it is 100% free and not a demo. If it says demo, then you should probably go on the website and purchase it if you're really in love with it. One of the main things that I struggled with Starstruck was finding my brand aesthetic. What I started to really pay attention to is something that I should have just known automatically, and that's, again, like if you're trying to create a competitive brand and if you want your brand to be in the big name stores and in Bloomingdale's, and if you want to, you know, open up your own shop, what do the brands that are already there look like? A perfect example is in my products. So what information goes on the product labels, and what is the typical go-to font? So again, font is very, very, very important. Font is a part of identity. Even though your product is unique and uniquely yours, you still want it to be able to stand on a shelf next to Christian Dior, or I don't know, a Michael Kors if you want to sell bags. You want your product to be able to stand next to something of luxury or whatever your idea is for your brand, and compare. You want people to look at both items rather than automatically assuming that one is better than the other. I think that's the best way that I can explain that. So something that I really had to go back and redo is my products. So I changed a lot of the packaging of my products, but the products are still the same. It's still the same ingredients, it's still the same highlighter, it's still all the same color selections, the same color names. The only thing different now is the packaging and what it looks like. Perfect example of that, there was a tweet that said Fashion Nova and Rainbow get their clothes from the same exact place. It's the same clothes. They get their clothes from the same people, made the same exact way, aside from like some of their like celebrity collaborations. So what is the difference? Well, the difference is one looks better than the other. One is significantly better than the other simply because of the branding, simply because of the branding. So this week I will be focusing on my Instagram, and so the tips and tricks of things that I've learned as far as Instagram is, first and foremost, before you go spending money on all of these ads, because remember, we're using this time to really fine tune our brand. That's what this time is for. If you can't purchase new product or new material or new tools to create, that's perfectly okay, because I promise you, your website is not where you want it to be or not where it needs to be. Same. Your products are not visually where you may want them to be or where they need to be. Same. And your Instagram is not where you want it or may need it to be. So before you go investing all of this money into advertisements and into trying to get people to jump on board and see your brand, or, you know, Instagram followers and all of that stuff, you have to make sure that before anybody goes on your website, before anybody goes on your Instagram, before there's opportunity for them to jump on seeing what this brand is, that you have something for them to see. So for Instagram, the things that I'm going to be focusing on is product images, because one of the things that I guess kind of discouraged me was that I really felt like I needed to consistently have photos of people in the product in order for people to see that the product was being worn. But I'm a person who wears makeup, and you need to be able to utilize all the tools that you have in front of you, that you have with you, and maximize this opportunity and this time. So product images are very important. I guess the best way to explain it is that, like, I feel like you want to entice the senses. People should look on your Instagram and want your products. And while we think that we've got it in one quick shot, and placing your bottle of shampoo on a furry rug is good, it's not. Once again, take your time and really look at the branding behind these major companies that you're so inspired by, because no, it needs to be clean. clean. If you sell cakes, or if you sell candles, or if you sell lip gloss, or if you sell, I don't know, food or whatever, purses, glasses, whatever. With their eyes, you want people to be able to taste your product depending on what you're selling. You want them to be able to smell it through the photos with really, really captivating images or videos. You want them to be able to taste it. You want them to be able to hear your product depending on what you're selling. The only way to accomplish that is, once again, by comparing to the highest ranking, the most competitive brands that you can think of that you fell in love with through just a photo. Like, how many times have you seen a picture of shoes for girls or guys, but how many times have you seen a picture of shoes that you're like, nah, I really need those, like I can almost feel them on my feet, I need that. That is the effect that you want to have with your brand and with your products. Yeah, like even if you're sitting on inventory in this time and you really, really want to sell, you'll probably do better using this time to reach out to brands and getting brand ambassadors. Don't be in a rush to get people to an unfinished product. Use this time to really, really, really tighten up your brand so that all the impressions that you're making moving forward are lasting ones.